Okay, so my recent career jobs have opened up Cole Harbor on Vancouver Island, the main location for the season one of the History Channel survival show Alone. I want to take you to each site and let you explore them and the surrounding areas from different views to maybe give you some new insight and show you some things maybe you wouldn't have expected. I found a few things that blew my mind, and maybe they'll blow yours too. Okay, so let me get started in here. Hope you're having a great day. So good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be. So if you don't really know anything about the show Alone, it's season 1, I think, was like 20 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. 1 second there. Dun, 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 dun. So it's Alone is an American survival competition series on history, formerly the History Channel. It follows the self-documented daily struggles of 10 individuals as they survive alone in the wilderness for as long as possible, using a limited amount of survival equipment. With the exception of medical check-ins, the participants are isolated from each other and all other humans. They may withdraw from the competition and tap out at any time, or be removed due to failing a medical check-in. The contestant who remains the longest wins a grand prize of $500,000. At that time, now I think it's up to $1 million. Okay, so here's what they always start the show with: the disclaimer. This program features trained survival experts. Do not attempt this yourself. Viewer discretion is advised. I went to the woods because I wish to live deliberately and see if I could not learn what it had to teach. Henry David Thoreau. So they open up all these shows, all the episodes, with some cool quote like that from, something insightful on nature or man, or the nature of man, or nature in nature, or nature in just the nature of things. Always a cool quote.
I want to prove that I can come out here and exist in the wilderness as long as I want to.
This is gonna be a bitch.
Nobody knows what it's like here except for the 10 guys out here doing it. Well, there they go.
It just got real.
So this is gonna be home.
We have to film it, and we're totally alone.
Time to get shelter.
There's nobody here but me.
I think I'm too far gone, and I'm losing it.
Yeah, I'm scared to death right now.
I feel like I'm starving.
I'm pretty sure I just saw a cougar.
Oh. The last man standing wins $500,000.
I don't want to go home. I want to win.
It's a chance in a lifetime, but it's not worth dying over.
It's pretty captivating. Have you seen this series at all? If so, anybody I've ever run into that has seen it, they're just, at least for a period of time, pretty fanatical about it. It's pretty great. Everybody usually asks themselves that question: Could I survive? Could you do it? Have you? Did you have a lot of camping experience growing up? Are you comfortable outdoors? Have you watched the show and wondered? I did, and I actually applied after watching the first season. And I asked some silly questions like, well, if I win, do I have to come back? Right? Can I use my winnings to purchase the land and just stay there? I don't think I want to come back. All right. Now they always do this where they zoom in. Yeah, and of course we're going to get a commercial right there. I don't know. Does it create some sort of space-time continuum rip?
Enrolled in this.
If I end up playing somebody's ad in a live stream, Spock, what do you think? Okay, so they always do some cool little zoom in like that. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing. So northern Vancouver Island. Here in the simulator, let me do my zoom in. Okay. So this is the location. If you want to fly along, multiplayer is on, and the coordinates are in the chat room for you. I also have a poll in there. All right. Now, in a moment, the History Channel is going to give us the map and start introducing you to most of the players. And in this extended clip that they give, a couple of them are left out, including the winner, but they have their own little individual clips, and we'll get to those too. So now let me spawn you in over the site here. Now I might do some slewing, and that means moving my plane quickly from location to location to save a little bit of time. Let's put us right. Well, let's just come into the bay here. I picked up the icon in case I wanted to come down and land on the water. Seemed like the best plane to have for it. Oh, they just showed it.
And
stop right there. They just showed it. And that's one of the rare times that they actually, you get to see the full map. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so you see the full map there. Now, for your convenience, I have picked that up. Okay, so these are going to be the 10 contestants there. Dun, 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 dun. Did I close my? Now I closed my version of it. Anyway, we have Alan, Josh, Sam, Mitch, Wayne, Joe, Lucas, Brant, Dustin, and Chris. And I felt bad for Dustin and Chris and the guys that are the further, kind of like the further away. You'll find out what I mean here shortly. Okay. So who are we going to get introduced to first? History Channel. I think this is Wayne. He's in that alcove.
I'm here. And how do I feel right now? It's jumbled up. It really is. The bears and stuff like that there, you know, they're concerned. They really are. But this is a gorgeous place. And yeah.
Okay, you gotta pause it right there, and that's Joe. We'll be going to his spot next. Let me just double check real quick. The alone map. Okay. Yeah, so I'm trying to look at the lakes in the picture. All right. Okay, so this area right here, start coming down. This is Wayne's area. Now, as I understand, you're limited to a 5-mile range, and you got to kind of, you know, that's what you're given, and that's a lot of space. 5 miles square. So notice the road right by him. Now, each contestant participant is supposed to be relatively close to a source of fresh water and then the salt water as well. So looks like there's a little tiny little lake right there, or a place that you could go get some water. And if you really wanted to hike in, they've got some pretty big lakes. All right. Now, I think right off the bat, you're going to be able to recognize some of the people like Wayne who are going to start setting records for the fastest tap out. Now, I don't know about you, but the vibe that Wayne was immediately giving off was that he's done. Psychologically, he's done. So I guess I don't want to really spend too much time on Wayne's spot. I do want you to look at the roads, though. Let me pause this. Okay. So I want you to take notice of the roads. And if you go on and end up watching the series season 1, if you've never seen it, okay, not only is he going to lose it, he's going to create a situation where it's at nighttime where he taps and he kind of forces them to come get him, and they have no ability to really get to him from the water and pick him up. And so they have no choice but in the middle of the night to try to load up some trucks and get to his location and extract him. And maybe it's just me, but it's super embarrassing. Now, again, it's really easy to be an armchair quarterback, an armchair survivalist, but a lot of these guys, they seem to talk a big game, but as soon as they're dropped into their locations, they lose it. Or they're going to start losing it really quickly. But Wayne, let me maybe rewind it a little bit and watch his little clip again. He doesn't do so hot.
This is a gorgeous place. And,
yeah, it's like he's breaking down and like he's going to cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what? Okay, now, this guy is Joe. And let me get to our map here. And Joe is just down the road from Wayne. My poor plane. Oh my. Sorry about that, folks. I'm trying to get this plane oriented. Or I'm going to put us into the drink. Can I recover from that? There we go. That's good enough. Okay. So Joe's going to be over here in this next cove. What you're going to want to do is maybe keep your eyes open for, well, I think if you watch the show, you'll definitely see things from a different viewpoint and see some of the areas that maybe they could have gone into. And I'd keep an eye out for structures, nearby structures, because where's the film crew? Where are they located? I think you might be surprised. Okay. So, yeah, this is the area where Joe's at. So now let me hide the map and show you. Here we are over that location. So you see, maybe I'm not seeing it right there. Let me go up a little higher. So he's got a road kind of coming down into the area too, or a major trail that way. And there are trails this way. And you can see roads going off that way. It almost looks like there's a bridge right over there. So, you know, it's still wilderness. There's no mistaking that. But, you know, you got to think about it from a TV producer point of view. You still have to have ways to get in and out and get these people in and out if something goes terribly wrong. And so it seems as we explore each location, some of them are definitely a little bit more isolated. Okay, so let's learn a little bit about Joe here. And tell me what you think. Do you think... I think you'll be able to figure out if Joe's going to make it or not. I think in these clips right off the bat, you're going to know who's going to make it and who's not. Let me know what you think about Joe.
Smells like dead stuff around here. Oh, man.
Biggest challenge in this environment is rain. You gotta stay dry. I have to make a shelter. I have to get out of the elements because I don't want to be soaking wet on the first day. Get my sleeping bag wet, stuff like that. I gotta go for water, food. This is a hypothermic situation ready to happen.
Well, kept my feet dry, but my shirt's soaked. I'm just wearing this light Primloft jacket, and it's soaking wet.
Pause it right there. We're getting some problem on the playback.
And it'll rip real easy, and I gotta go through an impenetrable jungle, it seems.
Okay. Joe. What do you think about Joe? Right off the bat, what compelled him to wear an outer layer jacket that wasn't waterproof? And then of such a thin material, you know that you're going to be out there. You know that you're going to be out somewhere for an extended period of time. Who in their right mind, I think, would choose to take a weak shell? Right? So I don't understand Joe at all from the get-go. Okay? Now, I got a little insight on Joe. And if I remember correctly, he does tap rather quickly. And it's because he can't start a fire. And I think at some point when he's out exploring, trying to make a fire, he puts down his fire stick. You know, it's like a little flint that you travel and you can scrape your knife on it and get a spark and start fires that way. A great survival tool. So he loses his fire stick, and that's it. That's it for Joe. Done. So I think I've seen his YouTube videos around in the past for, you know, doing survival stuff. But then when he was put out there, no, doesn't make it at all. Okay, who's next? Okay, now we have, I think this is Josh.
Come on.
Josh. Okay, so way back.
These tracks here. So far, day one, bull crap.
Wrong attitude.
I can't even eat.
Why is that on your mind right off the bat? I get it, but I don't.
Any water.
And can't boil any water.
I haven't went out and scouted anything yet.
Hasn't scouted anything. Why is the playback so choppy, YouTube? Everything was fine earlier. I don't understand, YouTube. Why? Of course, it's Murphy's Law during a live stream.
Simply because of the animals. I am so afraid of bears and cougars that I don't even know what to think.
Okay. He's so afraid of bears and cougars, he is immobilized with fear and hasn't gone out scouting and hasn't done anything. And, you know, I understand when I get hungry how I'm hangry, but they're dropping you off and you've got to survive for an extended period of time. And in the first moments that they drop you off, like, I'm so angry, I can't eat anything. So right off the bat, I mean, wow, you better get to it. You're burning daylight and every second counts, right? Just the ability to get through the first night. And as you'll see, they drop them all off at a rainy period here in Vancouver Island. Everything is soaked. Yeah, you're probably not going to get a fire the first night. You're probably not going to eat for a while. The thing is, though, they give you a choice of 10 items you can take. And some of those are actually food items. Like you could take beef jerky. You could take all kinds of different things. One of them is pemmican. Pemecin, I think. Pemicin. I mean, okay, either way, just that doesn't seem to be, that would be the first thing on my mind. You know, getting hunkered down and getting yourself safe and trying to keep yourself as warm as possible. So I'm heading over to where Josh is. He's on the outer rim of this little island bit, and you can see that on the map there. Let me turn off the map and show you it. There we go. Okay. So again, he's going to be around the corner. He's not on this side. He's like more in the middle of this stretch. So if you had to, the freshwater, yeah, it's a little bit of a hike. But again, he's paralyzed with fear at the moment. And he hasn't done any exploring, and he hasn't tried to get up to high ground and have a look around. But if he did, he'd see that right in his backyard, that fresh water is flowing from somewhere. And not too far off from where they dropped him, he's got all that open space. Look at all that open space. Because one of the dangerous things about camping under and around trees is they talk about the widowmakers, you know, under bad conditions, branches could fall and kill you. And sometimes that's a concern. So trying to find yourself, if you have a nearby open space. All right, you can see little roadways and trails zigzagging all around. And he has some cool little rock outcroppings down there. That one in particular, I think, would be awesome for fishing off of. So yeah, let's get back to Josh. He's freaking out. He saw a fish head. My thought is, oh man, there's some bait right there. He sees that and he's freaking out.
So tonight's going to be absolutely terrifying for me. Day one's coming to an end. I will have no idea where else to make a camp. I didn't come here to compete with bears and cougars over territory.
You didn't think they were going to put you in the wilderness? And the thing is, you go, it's not that they just, hey, you're going to be on the show. Can't answer any questions. We're going to just drop you someplace. You know, it's not like they don't know where they're going. They don't know where they're going to be. That they aren't, in the weeks before filming, versed in the dangers. And at that point, you'd think that they would have already tapped out for him. But I guess maybe that's part of the excitement of a show, is you got to put the, sadly, I'm sorry to say it this way, but you've got to put the losers in to make the show, to make the, I guess, the better ones just shine. All right, who's next?
Hey, Bear.
He ain't gonna make it. All right, Sam.
Hello, Mr. Game.
Let me head over to Sam's spot. You're gonna see something interesting along the way. Keep your eyes peeled on the let me speed up a little bit.
Whoa, 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 wow. Hello, Mr. Game.
Oh, I'm gonna break the plane apart. Going too fast.
Yes. I'll back away from you now. Back away.
Oh, so that's Sam. Now, Sam is the youngest contestant on the show, and his location is pretty much straight ahead. Pull up the map. Okay. Hide that for a moment. Sam is right up here towards the top, next to Mitch. Okay. So we're coming into that inlet. Take a look right down there and keep your eyes peeled on the shoreline. What do you see? Oh, you can't. This might be an eye opener right there. Now look down. Check the shoreline there. What do you see? Well, look at all that. Well, it makes sense. The TV crew and stationing and pre-training and getting things all ready and emergency services and, you know, that's all got to take place somewhere. And so you see there is a small little town thing, village, whatever you want to call it, right along here. All right. That's quite the stretch of stuff. So it does make sense to me that their youngest contestant, who I think is just 18 years old, they're going to stage him right over here. So Sam is, and there's more structures over here still. Look down there. There's stuff everywhere. A bridge. So yeah, it does make sense that they would stage their youngest participant close to a safety net, right? But as you'll see right in here, this is all Sam's area. I mean, Sam, literally, if you're allowed 5 miles, they must have put him right at the edge of it, because you're allowed to stage anywhere you want once they let you off within 5 miles. I think Sam could have walked into town every night and got himself a Starbucks. But I think they put him just at the edge of the 5 miles. Okay, we're definitely in his area now. Okay, so I don't know if that's coming from a freshwater source, but he had to have one. Plenty of roads back there. Okay. Pause there for a minute. Okay, now Brant, we're gonna have to move a long ways to get over to Brant.
This was quite possibly the shoddy.
I don't know why it's doing that. So Brant, I think, is way back. Yeah, he's like the furthest from, which is too bad they didn't put them in order like by their closeness, because Mitch is just right over here in this next cove. So they put him and Sam pretty close together, which is kind of funny with the clip plays later. Well, you'll find out. So let's go ahead and slew now, because we've got to do a big hop. Okay, I need to get a little higher so I can see the lakes. Excuse me. Okay, so Lucas, let's see down there. Okay, so Brant is on the tail side of this. You go up again. I remember there was a little lake of water. Was that? Yeah, it's over here. So you already see all the roads coming into it. He does have some fresh water, but it's way back there. But I'm sure that there was some other streams. Oops. Let me out. Okay. So still not a whole lot of shoreline if they drop you off. But if you're willing to explore, I mean, again, open areas where you can be out from underneath the trees. You can always follow the roads. There's a little tiny patch of water back there. But this gentleman here, let me go ahead and play his clip now.
Shelter I've ever put up. Got put out right before dark.
This dude is a trip, probably in more ways than one.
Hour and a half. And I scrambled to find a place that was high and dry enough that I could spread out in, and spread this tarp up to keep the rain off of me in case it rains tonight. It's gonna be a long night.
Okay, then they take us back to Wayne, who's losing his mind. Okay, so the reason why I said Brant is a trip. Brant ends up trying to filter some water through some moss, right? Which, okay, I'm not sure where they came up with that. I understand that if you filter water through enough soil and earth and different things, you could make yourself a filter. But just going directly through some moss that's right next to the area, I don't think you're filtering anything. Anyway, I believe he makes himself really, really sick doing something like that. And then I believe he eats some magic mushrooms and has some hallucinations. Okay. So Brant doesn't make it. He's not going to make it. Go back to his area. Have another look at Mr. Trippy's site. No, he's got a lot of steep areas. That would be the tough thing. Just it's so sheer everywhere, except for this area, which is where I think he's actually staged. This flatter area. but can't say for certain. I'd have to watch the episodes again, and when they move the cameras around, try to get different views and triangulate, but this is the area. I can't see him, either there or over there. It's flatter over there. I can see them putting them right. Well, I guess I can. See them dropping them off right down there. Cliffside. Okay. Is that in the way? So they're going back to Wayne again, who's losing his mind.
I mean, this here is not the ideal spot, that's for sure. I'm not sure if I'm beside a game trail or not, but there's trails everywhere, so how would you know? You just gotta hope that a bear does not wander through here. I'll keep you posted.
So again, he's losing his mind. He's about to break down and cry again. Right? Now, Joe, and he will lose his mind. He'll lose his mind that night, I believe. And he's going to tap out there and cause a huge situation.
Eye opener. I didn't get much done. I'm hungry and I'm thirsty. And I'm wet and I'm cold. Any other time I can get a fire going, I'm telling you, like, I can make a fire.
Okay, now my first thoughts is look, if you realize within the first hour that you're going to freeze to death, and then you've let yourself get wet, and then you put up a crap little, I'm just going to put myself in this little sheer tent, and I'm freezing and I'm cold, and I've just made a spectacle of myself on television in front of the whole world. Now, I love history. I love history, and I like watching the History Channel when I was growing up a lot for, cool military things, the way the Romans used to do things, and either way, just learning about survival and different ideas. And one of them is thermal mass, right? So you're going to freeze to death, and you need to make a quick shelter, and you're not putting enough. You at that moment, you're the heat. You're the only thing generating heat, but you generate heat nonetheless. So my thoughts with Joe right off the bat was, you didn't take advantage of thermal mass, man. Do what you got to do to cover yourself with as much mass as possible to, try to do what you can to stay warm despite yourself. You let yourself become soaked. Again, it doesn't make any sense to me why he would have wore what he wore. I mean, I don't know. Back to Josh out at the tip there. So what would you do in this situation? Yeah, it would be tough, when you're laying there trying to get some sleep and you're hearing some horrible noises coming around you and something sniffing around. Well, of course, any critters that are in the area are going to notice that you're there. But then, to play possum, right? To not make any noise, to sit there and cower and, if something's coming around, inquisitive, like in a moment, you're gonna see that it's a little black bear, and he's coming around. Here he comes. What's up, buddy? He's sniffing right around him. But again, just laying there, just freaking out, letting it get to him. I mean, what would you do? Don't you think one of the things you'd want to do is just start making as much noise as possible? I mean, who's at the top of the food chain after all? Right? So even if you can't make a fire, can't you make a whole lot of noise? and try to be as intimidating and scary as possible for whatever might be thinking around about sneaking around. And at the moment you hear the first twig off in the distance, you know, hey, I'm here. This is my spot. And I'm going to be here for a while, and you're currently not welcome until we become friends. Right? That's just me, I guess. Yeah, so he's not going to do very well. Okay. Now, now Mitch. I think this guy is groovy. I think he was a fan favorite. We got to do another slew again. Go way back over to where Sam and he were. All right, so Mitch is going to end up, again, becomes a fan favorite. And let's see, do they stick him all the way in the inlet? Hide that for a minute. Okay, he's right here before this inlet at the very top. Let me reset my camera. All right, so he had a lovely area. There are some roads going back up in there, but a lovely clearing. These little outcroppings. And as you see, that the water is not, I mean, I'm sure it's incredibly deep in some spots, but it's shallow in others. Again, it's so easy to be an armchair survivalist. Okay, so Mitch. And again, fan favorite, and I think that, overall, it comes off as an incredible dude. And I believe he makes it a long, long time. But he does not come out victorious.
Periwinkles and mussels.
Yeah, so he's used to eating that stuff.
Here's the shell. It's not bad. I like periwinkles.
I think that I would like them too.
Back home too.
All right. You hear the wolves?
I heard a wolf howl. Sounded like it was kind of like it was.
All right. So now there's a clip later where they're with Sam again, and Sam is hearing the wolves too. And instead of being freaked out, Sam's out there howling along with them. And I think, could be wrong, but I think Sam is just close enough. If you've ever been camping and been out on a lake, you know how sound can travel out in the wilderness. They just travel right over the water. And I think that some of the wolf howling that he's hearing later in the evening is Sam. So, one way to... Too bad he wasn't close enough to Josh. He would have really, really, really freaked him out. but Mitch is pretty cool with it.
Goes. Two wolves going. Three wolves going.
And again, I think there's a salmon there somewhere. Okay. Let's see if they get to the other guys. This guy is Chris. Map. Where's my map? Okay, so Chris now is up and over and across the bay from Josh. Let's go back out to the inlet, the main entrance here to the bay. And cut straight across, and I think he's in here and right over here. Okay, there's definitely something interesting to see here. Let me go ahead and undo this. All right. See if I can spot it and see if you can spot it. I think I'm in the right area. In one of these locations right near him, there's a house. Maybe I'm in the wrong inlet. Maybe it's that one with little outcropping. It's all right. Yep. Right there. See that? There's a couple of structures and a big road coming in and out. All right. So they stuck Chris right over here near stuff. Sorry, when I get in this position, it's kind of difficult to get out of it. No, and I just had it. Sorry. Close enough. So this is Chris, and I think he does pretty well, but I can't really remember too much about him. Nothing's really standing out. Oops, I had the map up the whole time. Let me show you that house again. Same kind of thing. What would you do? Would you be making noise or being quiet? There's some docks down there.
So loud. So loud up there.
Structures, road. I'm not saying that's not a legitimate reason to, poop your pants hearing that. But at the same time, you kind of have to try to put the fear into them and not let the fear of them get to you best you can. So start making noise. I don't know. What does your survival instinct say? Make noise, try to drive them off the area, tell them to keep it down. You're trying to sleep. What's wrong with you guys? Take your party downtown. Can't you see I'm a human here? Okay. So yeah, he is in this vicinity, and again, there's stuff nearby. In case something were to go terribly wrong. Lovely area. I think he's the only one on, I do believe, let me look at the map again. I think he's the only one that is facing this way at the start. And where's the sun at? That's another thing, trying to figure out your camping spot in relation to any sort of sunlight and where you're positioned at. And I think that definitely comes up in this season and definitely in the other seasons, you know, where people are deciding to position themselves, or some people moving camp altogether. They're like, I'm on the wrong side of the shore. I get no sunlight. I'm freezing over here. There's some amazing survivalists on the show. I haven't really caught up with the last 2 or 3, I think, seasons, and I think they were in Australia recently. Okay. Who do we got? That was Mitch, Chris, and then it ends with Chris. Okay, now the other contestants. Lucas, we have his clip out here. Another fan favorite. Lucas is pretty overall amazing. You had to be stuck out somewhere, you'd probably want Lucas with you. At least for a great attitude.
Why does cooking for one feel like half the meal but twice the cleanup?
Who's Juan?
Let me show you how fast.
My biggest fear is being wet and cold and not having adequate protection from the wind. I think everybody has fear once the night drops.
Come on, YouTube. What are you doing? You're killing me here. So Lucas is way out over where Brant was. No. Do. Maybe I'm way too far out. Because Brant was out here. Okay, so Lucas is in here. Yes. This is a pretty idyllic little spot too. So the right attitude, and he makes it a long way.
And you're all alone. I have had plenty of experience being out at night alone.
So right off the bat,
Cougar,
he's comfortable.
Lions,
yep.
Or the bears or anything like that. It's just being wet and cold and just having that slowly drain you. My strategy once I touch land is to get familiar with my surroundings. You know, this whole landscape is a potential hardware store, grocery store, toolbox, and so I need to familiarize myself with my surroundings. I'm gonna set up a temporary shelter pretty immediately, somewhere near my water source so I'm not burning a lot of energy. And then for me, it's slowly building a four-walled structure that I can stay warm in, get some way to dry out, because this is gonna be oppressive out here. It's just gonna come down. It's gonna keep hitting us. I left.
Whoops.
Maybe. In a thick woods. Thick.
Thick. So yeah, let's come down here and a little bit closer to the terrain. You can see what he was dealing with. I think we were looking into this little cove over here. But that's pretty sure on that side. Pretty flat there. But right off the bat, cool. He's not worried about the animals. He's going to scope out his surroundings. And he's already thinking ahead, like right off the bat. Not complaining about the food. Like, I got to get a shelter built. Like you said, the only thing that concerns him, going to make him sad, is, being cold and miserable. But he's just filled with great spirit, and, great attitude. And that's great. You've got to be positive. Go up a little higher now. So again, he's got 5 miles square that he can mess with. So right back there, a little freshwater lake. And all of that coming down. Well, if he hoofed it. That looks like a little tiny lagoon over there in that area. I think he's one of the ones that tried doing clay. And he's like, the clay is not really good enough for... And then I kind of dropped off because I don't believe there's such thing as a bad clay. It's either clay or it's not. And there's different types of clay. Like 7 different types of clay as you go up a hill and in the earth. So being around that much water and deposits, yeah, there's going to be some clay. I don't know that anybody in the seasons that I watched were ever successful at right off the bat, getting themselves situated and getting some like pottery made for some, let's go out and find some. I don't think anybody's made beer yet or fermented anything, or I still think a lot of them struggle with the basic concept of fire box and heating and not understanding thermal mass. And I get really discouraged. I get really well, at the start of some of these seasons I get really hopeful when they start their, like, this is where my fire area is going to be, and I can't wait to see what they come up with their fire structure. I'm sorry, I had the damn map on again. I'm so sorry. Spin back around. So they dropped off Lucas here, down here. So I get all hopeful when they talk about what they're going to do, and then I see them execute their fire structures, and it's nothing I've really ever seen has been very impressive. Nobody, as far as I can tell, understands like rocket stove ideas or a lot of different fire making techniques. Masonic fireplace ideas. Okay, and then I think 2 more. I think there was Dustin. Now, Dustin was, I think, another one that was kind of way out there. Now, I'm sad to report that I don't remember enough about Dustin at all. When he came up, I can't recall anything about him. And where did they put him? Mitch, Alan, Chris, Brant, Lucas. I don't even see him. That's how uneventful and unrememberable. Unrememberable? I don't think that's a word. I don't even see Dustin out here. Anyway, he was part of season 1. See if I can find his clip. Alan, and there's Dustin.
Jermaine struggled for years with dental issues before finally finding Nuvia. Listen to what he wanted most after his smile makeover.
Okay.
My name is Dustin. You know the type of area we're going to, but we don't know the exact location of where we're going.
I don't even know where they put you, Dustin.
Kind of have to prepare for everything because you're not sure. I mean, I know we're in the Pacific Northwest, but you're not sure how much natural resources you have. I'm sure we're gonna have fresh water and salt water, but other than that, that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. And that's about all I can remember about him. And I can say for certain that he didn't make it. All right. Let me take you over to Alan's spot now. Alan's Cove. And we'll put down. Okay, so way out when you first come into Full Harbor, and you make your way in this way towards Sam. There's Josh, would be right down below us here. Straight ahead would be Sam and Mitch over there. And this whole area here, this inlet here, is all Alan's. And Alan, they put him right around the bend here. Now, let me reset my camera. Okay. I knew it was going to happen. Put it down too fast. So a big lake back there, but that'd be an awful oof. And then you got a smaller one over there. And it looks like there may have been a stream through there. You can kind of make out a break down there. There may be a stream coming through there dumping out. But overall, not very sheer. Unless you're getting right in that crevice there. Lots of lovely, you know, beachfront, if you will. A little more than others. You got these bars, but that would require you to get into the water. Okay. Now, you haven't figured it out. I think I've already said so, though, but Alan is the winner. Absolutely, hands down. I mean, again, watching through these clips of each contestant, trying to figure out just by what you've seen so far who would win. Well, now let me introduce you to this gentleman.
With Chewy, get their mealtime match at a great price.
As we learn about Chewy.
Loves chicken.
Mm-hmm. Who don't love chicken?
This will be a survival situation. It won't be we're playing a survival situation or we're simulating one. You're gonna make choices and live and die by those choices.
What he's wearing.
Implications of how I approach things could be really serious.
Walking next to Joe, loses his fire stick. Look at the planes in the background and the helicopter. So from where we saw the most likely main staging spot for the television crew, they just had to take him right around the corner.
Project yourself in a survival situation. You think something this moist all the time and in the winds. I think it's going to be, that word just keeps coming to my mind, rust and gray. Everything looks, even there's a lot of green here, most days overall look gray and rusty.
Yeah, and I think they dropped him off, and I want to probably say October, November, December, because they dump him off right before it turns into the cold season. So they give you just enough time to get yourself situated before the crap weather comes. So I believe that the winter moves in by the time he taps out. I don't even think he never, I'm sorry, my bad. Forgive me for even saying that. Alan never taps out. And he makes it all the way and was the first winner of Alone in 60 days. And I don't know what the record is now. But, you know, more and more skilled people have been trying it. And, you know, they have various different degrees of luck. And there's a gentleman in one of the seasons, it's probably season 2. His name's Larry. They end up getting in one season, they get to partner up with somebody. And I always imagine that if I could have gotten into the show, I wanted to be partnered with Larry because Larry swears a lot. Just, he loves swearing, and I don't mind. I find that very honest, and I like swearing too. So I think we would get along smashingly.
I think once you hit the beach and you're dropped off and everything settles in.
Let me see if I can turn around. So I think that's the mass that we're looking at now. That's what they were flying him over, that mass over there. That's what we just saw in that last shot. Crap. Map up again. So I'm trying to get the camera pointed on the spot that... What is that thing doing up? Sorry, at the bottom it says starting soon. I'm like, where did that come from? I still don't know where it's coming from. There we are. Okay. I believe that mass right there is from of course, the opposite direction. They're flying him into this cove here.
I think once you hit the beach and you're dropped off and everything settles in.
Oh, come on. Skipping around on me. Come on, YouTube. Still skipping.
At the Pima Medical
Oh my.
Institute open house, you'll find more than your path to a career in healthcare.
Approach things. This is the wettest place I've ever seen. When you project yourself in a survival situation, you think something this moist all the time and in the winds. I think it's going to be, that word just keeps coming to my mind, rust and gray. Everything looks, even there's a lot of green here, most days overall look gray and rusty. I think once you hit the beach and you're dropped off and everything settles in, and this environment being so different from what I'm used to, there'll be that initial kind of a shock.
Okay. Let's speed up a little bit.
For me, I try not to think about time when I'm in the woods. If it's day 4 or day 24, it's just today.
So yeah, they deposited him down there. Oh Lord, they really don't want me playing these clips. Now, I don't think he does everything right. I mean, he makes himself suffer quite a bit. But again, I think he makes certain things about his stay a lot harder than it needed to be. Oh my goodness.
In this, nothing for miles and miles. So
he's looking into this cove here.
We are here. This is crazy. I'm a complete lunatic. I did not expect it to be.
Right? But, I mean, again, I don't think he's got a bad location. Nothing's really sheer in the area. You got some little sloping hills. But a lot of flat. And again, I think this is maybe where his water may have been coming out of. The fresh water.
This thick. This is like a jungle. And the
So, yeah, he does great.
topography, the mountains are just like straight up, straight down.
No, not really. Not as bad as some of the other fellas had it.
Better get to work.
All right. So there we have it. We have all the, we've covered all the different alone locations, and you've seen some things, again, where the TV crew stages, because from anywhere that we've seen out here, get back to the plane, do a slew that way, much faster. You could get to anybody relatively quickly if you had to from this location down here. Again, I think some of the guys that were way out there, Brant, they're like, I wonder if they had to roll for that, or, draw straws to see who's going to get put out the furthest, or maybe it's just the people that they didn't like stuck them out the furthest. So, I would probably not make it. I got to be real. I have got a great sense of what I would do. I've been thinking about it a long time. Because again, I applied right after watching the first season. But I don't think they like it when you joke about, I don't want to come back. Once you get me there, I might just hunker in and I might not want to go. This is the best opportunity I've ever had in my life. And the way the world is going, I don't know that I want to take it anymore. Right? So yeah. How do you think you would do? Hunger would get to me, so I've spent a lot of time when I was pondering, being on the show. Lots of time learning about, again, they switched it up all the place, but studying, what are the things what things can you eat out there? What grows in this part of the world? What are the things that people around here eat? And what did the ancient people around here eat? And, how did they survive out here? What are some of the ancient structures out here? What were the first things that they started doing? What kind of trees? What can the trees provide with different species? Right? Anyway, I think I would give it my best try. But overall, I don't know. There's it's all a lot of luck too. The right attitude and the right things going right for you. But now it's been like 15 years. Yeah, maybe just a little bit too comfortable now. Okay. Well, that is it. And you have a great day and a great night. I'll be back later tonight to do some practices, and I'll be back tomorrow. I got to figure out what we're going to do tomorrow. Back to the career stuff. But I'm glad we had the opportunity, now that we've opened up Vancouver, to revisit all the season 1 alone sites. I hope you enjoyed that. And again, I hope you got something out of it. If I'm not following you, please like and subscribe, and I will follow back as soon as possible. So, adios.